Hey there. So this next guest, really cool guy. He's built himself up from, it sounds like nothing, at least from my conversation with him, to be able to be in this position to do marketing, and he's writing a book and he's working with artists, and he's got so much going on, so much to share, that it's incredible what he's able to share with us today. And hopefully you guys really do enjoy this one. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today I have a very special guest with us. I have Jae Willz. Hey there, Jae. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing today, Dr. Bradford? I'm doing fine, and I'm feeling great to be on this podcast today, man.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day in Las Vegas. How about yourself? Where are you at?
I'm actually out here in Phoenix, and you know what's funny is that I'm supposed to be moving to Vegas. So it's funny that you're out there. Maybe once I come out there, we'll hook up in person. Man.
For sure. You know, once the Rona's over and all.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
All right. So, Jae, why don't you begin? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I am a 40-year-old marketer, gamer. I want to say that I'm more of a, what do you call it? Like casual gamer. I have friends that are really, really into competitive gaming, but that's not necessarily my forte. My forte is casual gaming. I love gaming. I'm also a content creator / marketer. I have a clothing label that backs me called Chase Demons. I'm a moderator for an MMJ group called Smoking Aces on Facebook. And
very cool.
An artist, and that's pretty much me in a nutshell, my friend.
Wonderful. All right. There's quite a lot to unpack there. Before we do, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask all of my other guests, my first question of every interview. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, Jae?
How what am I?
How weird are you?
How weird am I? I don't like that term. I like the term unique, but I'm going to probably say to the average person, they would probably say a 10.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I just think outside of the box. Like I don't believe in normal society. And then also I would say due to a lot of the current things that are going on in society, my socialization is heavily off. You know what I mean? Like I would really say that it's difficult for me to socialize with people nowadays. I think the world's gone crazy. And I think the crazy ones are the smart ones, man. You know?
Oh man, I know it. Everything's so weird. Like my 3-year-old daughter basically hasn't seen another person in months because we're supposed to take her, right?
Yeah, because of the Rona.
Yeah.
I get it, man. You say you're doctor, so I say this, like, you know what they used to do to crazy people reportedly back in the days?
It depends on what you mean by crazy, but they used to lock them up.
Yeah, so like Zelda reference, right? So it was reported that they would take lampstands and stick them outside of these caves and put these people in these caves because it was rumored that they were called oracles. And then if you spoke to this person, that it would change your perception. And so that's like, that's how I am.
Okay.
I'm that type of person.
Well, one quick thing, I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not qualified. I was an elder law attorney, so I was actually qualified to declare somebody's competency to sign legal documents, though, so I could determine whether or not someone was allowed to legally do stuff.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not an attorney anymore, so I can't do that anymore either.
All right, you're not an attorney anymore. I was going to say, I need to talk to you about that, man.
No, not me, man. Go find somebody else, someone else who hates their life.
Fair enough.
All right, so Jae, this is the Gamerpreneur, so I need your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
The first thing that I ever got was when I was 12. I got chicken pox, dude. I got a Nintendo system for it on Christmas. I got chicken pox on Christmas, and I stayed inside and played the old school Mario and Duck Hunt like the whole winter. That's where it all started.
I love it. And how'd that progress? Obviously, you're still a gamer today, so you just kind of went along, got the new systems, and never looked back.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that statement with you too. So this is how this goes. Is So I got the chicken pox. I got a Nintendo system because I got chicken pox. Yay, chicken pox. Thank you for turning me into a gamer. And then I went ahead and got on Game Boy later. Then I first got the first PlayStation, PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 3 and I sold it for a girlfriend that I was with at the time. Heartbreaking mistake. I still hate it. And then I started hanging out with Six Wavy, which I told you guys you should check out his channel. And messing around with him on the PS4. And here I am today.
Right
So
on.
that's the evolution. Oh, and a lot of arcade time too. We used to be we would actually ditch school to go to the arcades, put the quarters on the video game machines with the other gamers and Street Fighter. A lot.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nickel City too. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that one.
No, you don't never remember Nickel City, big arcade. Everything was a nickel when you would go in there. And they'd give you big bags of nickels at the door, and they would have some free play game system. So
No, I'm a tad younger than you are there, Jay.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, 7 years. Why it may be a little bit different. There you go.
Right on. Okay, Jay, are you playing anything at the moment?
The last game that I played was Valorant. I was trying to play Smite. I haven't been playing Smite. You know what I honestly would like is a recommendation for somebody for something that I could play on a laptop at this point in time that's going to keep my mind heavy. You know? But yeah, last game that I played was Valorant.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure. There's thousands of games out there. It depends on what you like.
I'm a first-person shooter type of guy. I like.
Then you need to be playing Call of Duty Warzone, man.
Yeah, I like I'm a Call of Duty. I'm a run and gunner. I do like that. What else? I like strategy, RPG. Like I'm a Final Fantasy guy. What else? Resident Evil. We played recently, like the new Resident Evil is fun. I didn't really play on the mastermind side. I more play on the like escapee side, you know. But other than that, I'm trying to think of anything else that I played recently. I was playing Far Cry for a minute. That's it. But like Sig's like, nobody plays Far Cry. Why? You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that part.
All right. How about this one, Jay? What's your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time? That's not fair because there's so many to pick from. Okay, so if I was stranded on a desert island, what game would I take with me if I could just play it over and over again? Probably one of the GTAs. No matter what, at least I could still cop cars.
Which one though? Are you chasing that train?
Yeah, that's not fair either. I'm like San Andreas, San Andreas GTA or GTA 5, depending on if we have network connection on wherever we're at. Smite, I play. We're waiting for Fault to come back out. We're waiting for Fault to come back out. The Paragon was dope. You know, obviously, shout outs to the Paragon community. Fault, you know, I was playing with Revenant for a very long time.
Right on. Okay. So, Jay, thank you for giving me your background there on the gaming side. Let's go over to the preneur side. Can you kind of walk me through your professional background? How did you end up to where you're at today?
Okay. So about 10 years ago, no, hold on. 2020, 15, no, 18, no, 15. Okay, yeah. 2005 to now. So 15 years ago, I moved from California to out here in Arizona. What happens is I end up going for my associates in business foundations. And then as I get towards the end of my degree, I end up like wanting to do some extracurricular study basically. So I found a radio station that was actually looking for an intern. It was called Trill Talk at the time. And so that's where I met DJ Signal, aka 60 Wavy. That was my first experience with him. And then shortly after that, I did a show as a hip hop artist out here. in Arizona, and I was first on, I think, 150,000 flyers. And it was on the radio for like 3 days. It was like this big giant bazaar out here, and I helped open it. I cried when that thing shut down, man. It was it was a hectic process. So then after a while, I went for my bachelor's in business administration. Unfortunately, I did not finish that, but I do have my equivalent now. Reason I didn't finish that is because in 2011 my grandpa passed, and I went through like a really hard time. So shout out Grandpa Williams, and shout out to everybody who's like surviving through hard mental transitions in this world. Don't let it stop you from doing whatever you want to do. Ultimately, I still ended up writing a business proposal called Hydrate the Homeless for the city of Arizona, to basically give water and snacks to the homeless people. I worked at a radio station called Support District Radio. I ended up partying as friends with them and going to another radio station out here called Native Beat Radio. So I'm a host out there. I was with Signal for 4 or 5 years. We hosted a club night on Saturdays, a weekly club night called The Reef. And that was fun. 4 or 5 years being a club host. Eventually it all came to an end. Signal goes into gaming. I still stay in marketing and advertising. And then my next transition from that point is I'm getting ready to go become a marketer for another business that we have out of Vegas. In the middle of all that somewhere, I wrote a book, hooked up with some people called Sine Wave. That's Sine, SYGNWAV.com, where we have a clothing label called Cloud Demon that basically helps out with depression and anxiety. It helps to fight depression and anxiety. It's a lifestyle brand, basically. So, it's all about positive reinforcement and things of this nature. We had a podcast, much like you, called Should Have Been On, somewhere within that time too. And we got an award for Best New Podcast for that. I created a bunch of other podcasts in the middle of that time, and, just trying to find my way as a marketer through this universe, man.
I love it.
It's
That's a heck of a backstory.
Thing, yeah, it's stages to this stuff, man.
Okay. So you're a marketer, like, first and foremost. So yeah. What does that mean?
For me, as a marketer, it's basically trying to find a product that I believe in and that I can help develop and we can create profit out of. And I would rather work with something for me that is something I believe in, obviously, and have a good business relationship with the person I'm with. Basically, I've always described this to everybody as this. All I do is move information from one place to place. I put pretty pictures up and I leave. That's what I do, but I do have these meaningful conversations with people such as yourself, because engagement is important. Cultivating a following is an important thing. It takes like countless hours of discussing things with people.
You're darn right.
So just, you know what I mean, what's going on here. So that's pretty much it. It's a long road, man, because I don't know, unless you're like Gary Vee or somebody like that, I don't really see it like just like turning into $1 million dream overnight. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to keep going through it and especially with the way this current climate is, you just got to keep going until you get there. That's what it is with me.
That's right. So, yeah. Keep at it until you finally like strike that iron, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you got to make sure you got a bunch of irons in the fire, because organic engagement is a precarious thing. One day a product might be hot, the next day it might not be, case in point, look at all the things look at all this protest against Facebook right now, mm-hmm. And then like all of a sudden, like brands that were on the forefront all this time, but like we're kind of in the back, like Ben & Jerry's are like all of a sudden out here right now, big time, because it's like, oh, hey, you stand with your causes and things of that nature, mm-hmm. So that's what it is now.
Okay, so Jae, like my goal for this show is to try to give as much advice as I possibly can to my audience through my guests. And the fact that you're a marketer is like huge for me. Like I would really love for you to be able to like share your thoughts, your suggestions for somebody out there who's looking to promote themselves. Because primarily, you know, we're all kind of in the get as much attention as you possibly can game, right? Like that's the name of it. So like, what do you say people should do?
Ultimately, be you. Keep trying everything until you find a thing that works, because a million times something's not going to work. Per example, one of the biggest points that I can see in terms of gaming and marketing combined would be against 608. Like I've watched him have to reboot his computer. I've watched him have to like order countless pieces of equipment and invest in himself to make his setup look better. Things of that nature. Like these are things that you're gonna have to do as a marketer or someone that wants to put a specific brand or a lifestyle choice out there. You know what I mean? Engage with as many people as possible as you can, and remember to keep opinion a lot out of it, especially right now. Like sometimes you got to realize like not everything is for you. It's okay to be like, I might not agree with that, but I'm gonna stay over here away from that, and I'm only here to talk to you about this, and let's meet at this point and try to keep striving. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. It's actually interesting though, because that ability to be polarizing could also find you your audience, right?
Yes and no. It's a precarious. It's like walking a plank, dude. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. It's like walking a plank, you know, because I mean, some people are loud and destructive, and they get all the news cameras around them, and you know, things are still happening for them, man. They're still making millions of dollars, dude. And there's some people that, hey, you said the wrong thing one time. Look at like, I don't know, like a Michael Richards, you know, for example, like make one bad comedy joke and Hollywood remembers you for that for the rest of your life now, you know? So it just depends, I think, on what your approach is and how you can recoup that. I've had some of those embarrassing moments, dude, where I've had to go back and tell people like, you know what, man, this was necessarily my opinion about this thing, but I respect that you didn't respect what I said. So, you know, let me like change that up for you. I think that's what's dope about being a marketer too, is the ability. So like if somebody leaves a really bad Yelp review, like don't be scared. You know what I mean? Like the point is, I seen this really bad Yelp review, but it gave me a chance to engage with the customer. Now I know what the customer doesn't want. So now if I engage with them and they give me the opportunity to fix it, we can fix this thing. And now that's an inconsistency or discrepancy in my business that I fixed. And that goes for your personal lifestyle brands as well. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Now, like kind of bouncing off that point, you mentioned like the Yelp review. How do you deal with the haters and trolls? Because like they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's really big, isn't it? Run and hide. Don't engage them. They just want attention. Go run and hide. Don't fall into the trap, dude. You know, some guy asked me that today. He was like, because I'm in several different groups on Facebook, right? So the guy was like, remember me? This girl said that this neighborhood wasn't quote unquote hood, or this wasn't this way or whatever. And I was like, really? I was like, okay, so it could have been a situation that happened with me, but generally I let those types of energies go. I'm a big believer in like energy vampires and like not letting things sap your strength, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm a big believer in that. And I generally think that the reason why most people are that way is because they're unhappy in their own lives. And so because they're unhappy in their own lives, that they're just going to act out for attention. Like you said, it's all a big attention game. So don't give them any attention. Make sure that you only direct your focus on positive things that are going to elevate your business lifestyle and you personally.
Absolutely. 100%. Okay. So Jay, how did you even begin doing this? Like, where did it start?
In terms of marketing,
Yeah.
when I wanted to go to college for business foundations, I tried to go to college before that for computers, and I failed miserably. Like it just wasn't my thing. Like it really wasn't my thing. I'm too clunky trying to put hardware together. You know what I mean? And I'm really rough on technology. Like actually some of my best friends are like technology gurus and stuff like that, like people that are actually making innovations in fields right now, dude. And they're always yelling at me like, "Oh my God, you're so rough on this computer. Like, what did you do? Why is there a blue screen of death? I left this computer here with you for 2 minutes. Why is it here?" They're like, "I don't know." They're like, "Okay, we'll fix it. Next time you do it, it's on you though." So I left that. But my brother at the time was rapping, and he was Warner Brothers wanted to sign him. He was working with the CW network, if you guys remember that.
Very nice.
And a couple other things were happening at the time. So I basically wanted like a way to protect us, our music, and to learn about music. Well, once I ran into Signal was pretty much like, in terms of an industry, entertainment industry, like, I'll pull the curtain back for you. And are you sure that you want to see what's behind this curtain? Because once you see what's behind this curtain, you might not like it here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm with it. Which pill do I eat? You know what I mean? And I'm like me, y'all. Unfortunately, I ate both pills. I ate both the red pill and the blue pill. So now we're here. And I just felt I'm still in love with marketing. I like interacting with people. I like being an inspiration to certain artists, like the artists I represent. Shout outs Kai G. Of course, I got to say that. So shout outs Chase Demons. Like, I like things that we've done. I like the fact that I have friends that are content creators. Shout out Victory Children. Like, it's a Black comic about ALS awareness, fights for ALS awareness. Like, I rock with these types of things. I like creative people. And even in high school, like, my teacher gave me a book one day. She was like, "Do you know that you're an existentialist?" At the time, I really didn't know what that word meant. Now I sort of get it. You know what I mean? Just someone whose thought process is just a little bit different than everybody else's, and is looking for a way to succeed in this world. That's it,
Beautiful. Jae, tell me about your book. I want to know.
Okay, so I wrote a book called Memoirs of a Businessman. I actually missed my publication date for the book. We're still waiting to kind of rebound on that. But the copy is still at Signwave. So what's going to happen with that is ultimately we're going to run back through that. I'm still trying to do that. Memoirs of a Businessman is basically a book that I wanted to write because unfortunately, I did have a friend pass in front of me, and that kind of affected me when he passed. And that's also kind of what made me leave California to be put on a better path, right? And so with that being said, eventually I bumped into this dude named AJ Serrano. And what happened is he was looking for a way to create his company. I helped him find a way to incorporate his company. Dude came back and he asked me, what do you want to do? And I was like, you know what? I want to write a book. So he said, okay, we'll write a book. The book is roughly, I think he said 20,000 words. And moving forward, we'll be looking at publication for it soon. So, more details to be released on that. Of course, I'm going to stay in touch with Gamerpreneur. So,
wonderful.
Check in with me.
I can't wait to hear more.
Okay.
So, like I said before, like, I'm trying to get in the show to people to be able to follow in your footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it about you that makes you unique? Like, what skills do you have that maybe somebody doesn't have?
I'm really empathic. I'm really adaptable and easy to study different things, and I'm able to walk in multiple worlds. I have friends from all walks of life, so I'm able to do these types of things. Again, what else do I think will make me personally unique? My belief system, more so than anything, and my willingness to adapt my belief system, and we call it agape love. So like my love for everybody that's a content creator, you know what I mean? Everybody that's trying to walk the same walk of life. Because so many times in a day where I have conversations with people that are associated with me in this business, and we don't necessarily see eye to eye. And I'm just like, all right, we're just going to agree to disagree. I think a lot of people right now are holding a lot of grudges right now. And I think like we generally have to let that go. in order to succeed.
Absolutely.
Also, I'm pretty information thirsty. Like, I spend a lot of my time just researching consistently, no matter what. Like, I always want to know something new. I always want to like find somebody new to teach me something new if I can't find it myself.
Okay.
So,
So I'm going to give you one of those typical interview questions. Where do you see
okay.
yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, one of two things will happen. Either I will be working with another marketing company, which is coming soon. They did pay me a retainer. I can't really release details on that, but I'm supposed to be becoming a marketer for them out in Vegas. So hopefully that's coming soon. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm like, nobody pays you a retainer, they don't want you, right? Like that
Right.
doesn't happen. So then the next thing is I'm probably gonna try to pair with this lady, Ellie Rodriguez, which is a spiritual healer and an herbologist. She's trying to make some legal advancements in the world of cannabis, dude. Because I believe in the strong medicinal powers of that, and not just simply for recreational use, but like for holistic purposes. And I believe in the culture that's rooted around that as well. So I'm gonna try to work with her also and further her brand. Because I was looking for a project to basically scratch my proverbial claws on recently, and I bumped into her, and like I feel at home over there, you know. So I'm
Oh,
gonna do
absolutely.
that. Also, I want to try to do a tour with Sunwave and Kaiji within the next 5 years, and I want to put out another album within the next. I want to put out some more music within the next 5 years.
Very cool. Tell me a little bit about your music history.
Musically, for me, I haven't had as much success as everybody else, but it's weird because like it borders all on the edges of everything. I started when I was 15, 16 was the first time that I got a standing ovation. We had a song called Victims of the Industry, which was basically like an industry crash course. At the time, I was with my bro. His name is Big Slim, aka Prop 24, and he ended up getting signed to Def Jam / Island for a while. So I was working with him. What's interesting too, again, is so I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with Game, but the dude that's part of Game's camp, his name is Breeze Joaquin from Black Wall Street. Actually, named me. He's the dude that named me Code Red, and he spent a lot of time around me too, working with me. So I did a song with him a while back. Right now, what I'm currently doing is I'm helping a young producer get his roots out in Washington, basically. Like I gave him pretty much a pathway to walk on, you know, and the inspiration to like run with that. And he came back to me recently and was like, you know what, thank you for doing this. So let's work on an album. So I'm gonna do that with him now. And then the other thing too, like I said, is that working with Signwave, um, he's been in the industry for a while. He's been around a lot of different things. He held ASCAP conventions, all types of different things. That's one of my like day ones. So it was just only natural for me to kind of graft towards that, you know, when I'm far away from that, like, because it might be like, especially right now, like it might be a week or two where we don't have a business meeting. I might not pop up on them, you know. But when in that week or two, I do feel like kind of estranged. You know what I mean? Like I feel far away from it, man, and I miss it. So that's just been in me. You know, I started off writing poetry, and then I pretty much at the age of 13, and I progressed until 16, and now I'm just out here trying to eventually, like I said, make another album. Another part of my family too, which is an international producer. His name is Dasubat. He's big in like Japan, Europe, all that stuff. I've worked extensively with him. He has a lot of my music in his lab right now. So just it's weird because it's all these individuals that I've been networking with that are technically in the industry, but I just haven't necessarily found my roots yet. You know what I mean? Well, I
And
don't
you
even want to
will
say my
someday. Just
roots.
keep at it, like we said, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I'm still pushing. You know what I mean? I'm still pushing no matter what because it's different when it's on you than when it's in you. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
And
know. Like
for
doing this show myself, like I can coach people, no problem, tell them exactly what to do, but like to do it, totally different.
yeah, so like for me, it's in me. You know what I mean? Like it's not on me. If I was to give up being a creative and being like a marketer, I don't know what else I would do anymore. I really don't know. I'll probably be lost. So
For sure. I
there's
love
that.
it. Okay, so Jay, I want you to go back in time with me for a second. And if you could go and you were starting back in school, 15 years ago. If you could go to little Jay back then and you go, hey, little Jay, this is what's going to happen for the next 15 years of your life. And here's everything that's going to happen to you. But here's the one thing you need to know. What is that one thing?
Consistency, like keep on the path, to stay on the path, because it's going to work. It's going to work out eventually. Like consistency and frugality. You know what I mean? To save money and to invest more money in your brands. So
Absolutely.
like that's just one. That's just one thing. But it's gonna be okay, man. Like don't worry about so much. You're gonna be all right.
I love it. That's beautiful advice for everybody out there. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So now, Jay, let's pull back a little bit more. And you've done some incredible things in your life. This is I love this conversation we're having because like I'm sitting here soaking it up. But I want to kind of take a quick turn for a second because I believe that we learn the most from our failures in life, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily our successes.
Right.
And from your failures, you have to pick yourself up. You got to dust yourself off, figure out what went wrong, and then fix it for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, what is something that you have failed at and what did you learn from it?
I failed to attain my bachelor's degree in college, and I could have went to college sooner. I could have went to technically, if I had to follow the correct path in high school, I could have went to any like Ivy League college that I wanted to go to. My psych professor told me that I was so good at psychology that they wanted me to go, that they will write me a letter of recommendation to whatever college I wanted to go to, basically, if I would just go to those classes and get a C plus. And because he was just like, will you just come and sit and like work with me, like just stay here, and I would just like never go. But his letter of recommendation was so powerful because he was on a board of psychologists in California. Also, like my mom was a principal secretary, so they were steadily like trying to groom me for valedictorian. And I stayed on the honor roll list. I just would never go to class. Like I wouldn't really apply myself. So I ended up like dropping out, and then I ended up like actually going back and getting my high school diploma about a year, maybe two later, but not from the original school, of course. And then for a while, I just like floated through life. I don't know what I was searching for something. I don't know what I was searching for. I did eventually enroll in college, but I didn't get my bachelor's. I should have went back and like been like you have a doctorate. That's pretty awesome, man. That's a lot of schooling, bro.
It is a lot of
And
schooling.
it's a lot of schooling, and it's a lot of focus, and it's a lot of dedication. And I wish ultimately that instead of like kind of allowing myself to be disturbed in a lot of places, or like feeling like because I was disturbed and walking away from a lot of things, that I kind of had to just like stay there and knuckle down. But at the same time, I don't necessarily regret it because it made me who I am today, And I honestly think like maybe some things were not just for me. But again, I would ultimately say that that's the biggest thing, is not finishing that degree. And because you don't never know where that goes, And even Gary Vee is kind of like down on college. He's like, oh, you could go for 2 years and see if that's for you, and if it's not for you, then I'm sure you've heard him speak, because I can tell by how you talk, you're familiar with like these entrepreneurial people like I am, So, still, it would have been interesting to see, where that path would have led. But do I think it would have been better if I went over there? The world will never know. You know what I mean? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Right?
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. So Jae, what's something you're working to improve on yourself today?
Marketing skills still more and so, time management, um, more interactions like this, more interactions like this one, because I realized that, ultimately I am my number one product. That's the thing. And money, like I want more money, not because I'm like a greedy entrepreneur or something like that, but just because I want like a better quality of life for myself and for everybody else around me. I spent $5K in the last 3 months during this pandemic just trying to keep everybody afloat, man.
Yeah.
And I still kind of don't have anything to show for it. I bought a car within the last 3 months. I bought a car, and so I have that to show. But other than that, like, I don't really have anything to, well, no, that's not true too, because I guess I have this opportunity with this company now, and that's huge, that's big. But other than that, I really don't have too much to show for that. And the only reason I did it was just to because I'm a big family values type of guy. So to keep my team afloat, like whatever sacrifices we have to make, we're gonna make them. And that's it. That's what it is.
That's so wonderful. All right, kind of here a fun question. What is something that people misunderstand about you the first time they meet you?
I think a lot of people think that I am a different type of person than I really am. I'm really kind, so I think a lot of people mistake that for weakness. Or I think that depending on the situation, if I'm too aggressive with you, I'm a Scorpio, man. So if I'm too aggressive with you, like, you're gonna feel this sting. If I'm not aggressive with you enough, then it's gonna make me want to sting you. And that's just the essence of the thing. So I'm learning that nowadays. You know what I mean? Especially how it is right now, because the societal climate we're in right now is rough. It's not easy for either side, for any side of the fence, because you can't even just say either side because it's more than two.
All right.
So that's it.
Okay. Now, Jae, this has been such an amazing interview. Thank you so much. How do people find you? Where are you at on social media?
Actually, right now, you can look me up on Facebook at Angel, Angel Litos, Angel Litos, on Facebook right now. Or you can email me at yeshmemirs@gmail.com, or just stop by Signwave.com, SYGNWAV.com. Follow us and tell them that you want to talk to us.
Fantastic. All right. You have any final thoughts to share with us before we wrap up, or anything I didn't ask you think we still need to talk about?
Not necessarily. I do want to say again, shout outs to all the people that I'm working with. So, down Boulevard, I want to say what's up. Come over and join Smoking Aces Stoner Life Group. I want to thank you to Gamerpreneur for having me over here, and I want to actually see what more can we do with each other. And that's it, man.
Absolutely. All right. Well, in that case, Jae, thank you so much for coming on. This was a genuine pleasure.
Thank you, man. You too.
All right. Now, for everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.